Once upon a time, there was a young boy named Lucas who had a favorite toy, a small wooden car that had been with him since he was a toddler. He loved it more than anything, and it had become a symbol of his childhood. One day, while playing in the yard, Lucas dropped a toy and it cracked in half. Lucas stared at the broken pieces, feeling his heart sink. "It's ruined," he said, his voice trembling. "It will never be the same." His father, who had been watching from the porch, walked over to his son. He knelt beside him, observing the broken toy in Lucas's hands. "I know you're upset, son," he said softly, "but this is a moment for you to understand something important." Lucas looked up at his father, confused. "What do you mean, Dad? It's broken. I can't play with it anymore. It doesn't feel the same." His father nodded. "You're right. It will never be the same as it once was. But I want to show you something. Follow me." Together, they walked out into the garden, where Lucas's father pointed to a tree in the distance. The leaves had started to fall, and the tree stood bare in the cool autumn air. "This tree," his father explained, "is always shedding its leaves. Every year, it loses what it once had. Yet, it continues to grow. It doesn't hold on to what's gone. It lets go so it can embrace what's to come." Lucas watched the tree for a moment, still unsure. His father continued, "Everything in life is like that tree. Whether it's toys, people, or even our dreams, nothing is permanent. We attach ourselves to things, thinking they define us or bring us happiness. But when we hold on too tightly, we forget that life is always changing." Lucas thought about this for a moment. "So, you're saying I should just forget about the toy?" "No, son," his father said with a smile. "It's okay to love things and people, but don't let your happiness depend on them. When we get attached to things, whether it's a toy, a relationship, or even a job, we often set ourselves up for disappointment. But if we can learn to let go, to accept what comes and goes, we'll find peace in the present." Lucas nodded slowly, understanding. "So, I can still love my toy, but I shouldn't hold on to it too much." His father smiled, his eyes full of wisdom. "Exactly. You can love the toy, but understand that it's just one part of your life. Life will always change, and it's only when we stop clinging to things that we can truly find peace." That night, after their walk, Lucas sat with his broken toy and quietly reflected on what his father had said. He realized that the toy was no longer what defined him. It was simply something he had once loved, and he could now let go of the sadness and attachment that came with it. Then, Lucas placed the broken toy on a shelf in his room.